Hey, beautiful souls, welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or my live feeds, simply take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Friday. Yay. It's been an interesting week energetically. I think for many of us, the energy's been kind of like this. We talked a little bit on Wednesday about the whole stepping back with, with things coming up, whether it be in relationships, or in situations where we just need to kind of go over here. Good to see everybody come on in. We made it to Friday. Yes, Tabitha, we did make it to Friday. I'm just before I jump into the Ask the Medium session, I just want to tap into how some of you have felt since we had our live on Wednesday. We talked a lot about stepping back energy and how that was coming up and a little bit of some unsettled. We talked about some stomach stuff, holding that energy, some energy that's been floating around. We're holding in our tummies a little bit. So I'm just curious if that has settled down for some of you. Stepping back and observing rather than absorbing was a big thing from Wednesday even till now. And I feel that even over the weekend, I do feel it kind of settling within us, but I also feel that some of us may be struggling a little bit with oh, I feel bad that I can't be right involved, or I feel like we're picking up some things that are not ours over the weekend, and I feel it a little bit draining. So, there may be some tired energy floating around. The energy from other people has been extremely draining. A lot going on. So, continue with practicing. I'm just going to observe, not absorb, things that are floating, because there's some floating. And just make sure that over the weekend that you take a little bit of time. It can be, 5 minutes or an hour, and just make sure that you're recharging. Self care this weekend for me seems like it needs to step up just a little bit. So a little bit just might be some quiet time, reading a book, counting stars, outside in nature, grounding yourself. I just feel like we need to recharge, because it's been very draining. Some of you have commented about the stomach stuff settling down a little bit. Yeah, it is settling down, but with that settling down, I just felt this whole, like I'm going to say, people pleasing guilt. I just feel some of that kind of like right under the surface with I couldn't be there. I can't. I don't want to get involved, but now I feel bad. That's just kind of like a few floating pieces. So just the whole I didn't do enough, but just that little piece. Just keep an eye on it. Just remember, like I always say, just remember that I said it because people are on their own journey, and sometimes people have made choices and people have choice and free will. So with all of that, just kind of recharge yourself. The weather, at least in my end of Ontario, is going to be glorious. So I plan on doing as much as I can outside, just breathing and recharging and just tapping into a little bit of that. Yeah, quite a few of you have talked about the stomach issues of settling down. I'm grateful to hear that. Fran says my whole family is tired. My youngest has done nothing but sleep. Could have been the first week of school. Last week knocked it out of her. And the first week of school, for when you think about it, it's people energy, right? So, going back to that people energy, going back to being drained. I always say we have to recharge energetically. We have to recharge. So, sleeping, getting outside, finding a bit of that balance this weekend will be great for her. My man and I have other kind of random camping trip. We're going to do it in a few days. I love that Easy Puff. Much needed time down before it gets too cold again. Easy Puff, I did that, was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, I went up north. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I went up north, and it was, it wasn't quite, it was at a camp. It wasn't tenting, but it was in a trailer, and I really needed to just disconnect. Literally turned off my phone. The only thing my phone did was take pictures. So, I feel you on that. Before it gets too cold, absolutely. I love that. I loved last session of meditation. Seemed to help me going out of town this weekend. Any messages for us as we travel? It's for Hub's birthday. Happy birthday to your Hubs, Rachel. I really feel that this whole I love you now, right? Just the new version of each other. I feel like I just got to kind of like frolic in that. Right? I mean, relationship changes, people change, we all grow. I feel like I have to say, just enjoy all this growth, just enjoy that celebration, enjoy the right now on this trip. I also feel like I have to say, Rachel, to you, when you're traveling, I just want you to just take a moment when you can, if this resonates with you, when you're with what else do I see? So what else do I see when I'm looking out the window? What else do I feel? What else do I know? Just kind of asking yourself that, like that, because I really really feel there's so much magic around you on this little getaway. I just need to kind of like take it like a little bit deeper. What else do I see? I might see, just as examples, Rachel, I might see a face in a tree. I might see a shape in the clouds. I feel like I just got to say the magic is all there. Just kind of take it a little bit deeper. How exciting for you. Enjoy. Random anxiety was kind of high too. Aaron, with when things are going on in the physical world, we do pick up on that. And so again, always ask yourself, my anxiety or not my anxiety? Just and what answer do you get? Sometimes it is our anxiety, right? And sometimes it's like the anxiety around us, or the anxiety of the collective, the anxiety for people that we're hanging out with. I always ask myself when I'm feeling a certain, certain ways, I'll say, is this mine or not mine? Who have I been around? What have I tapped into that might not be mine? So, Aaron, that's a little tip there for you. Camilla, I'm cleaning my sister's apartment as I'm watching a bit of a hoarding situation. I'm starting to feel so drained. Any tips on protecting my energy? Clutter is hard for me. Clutter has a big energy. Camilla, I hear you on that. I struggle with clutter and stuff because it just kind of like blocks. Tap into, Camilla, when you're as you're working through this cleansing and the clutter. Just kind of really look at it as a letting go, right? We're just letting go of the situation. We're letting, instead of tapping into the heaviness of how we got here, right? So I did, because it truly doesn't matter how the apartment got cluttered. We're here in it, and we're making room, we're clearing out, protecting yourself. Camilla, there's so many different ways that you can do that. I like to work with white light. I love white light. I work in white light. White light for me is very spiritual. I love the color white. I love white. It's bright, it's light. So just surround yourself in something that really resonates with you energetically. And simply also, when you're purging a lot of this other stuff that you're letting go in the physical, tap into the non-physical as well. Tap into things like, well, I'm decluttering anyway. What else do I need to declutter from myself? What am I holding on to that I need to declutter as well? Just kind of go and take advantage of the situation. I guess is one way to put it. I'm also going to let go of these feelings about the clutter. I'm going to let and just kind of looking at the clutter and on the other side of it. That clutter probably brought your sister, some comfort. Just kind of like lightening up that a little bit, but it's time for that to go so that she's got more space. Just kind of look at the other side of the energy of it as well. It'll just balance what's going on, right? Instead of looking at the heart of the clutter, kind of like look at a little bit of the light stuff of the clutter so that it comes into balance. And that way it'll also help you to work on not judging the situation. The situation is what it is, right? It'll just help with that a little bit. And we'll all send you a little bit of extra love there, Camilla. Joe Smith, I missed the last one, but I've had stomach issues for around a week, and I've been sleeping. I've been sleeping. um, that came up a lot in the last live. Joe, you can go back and watch the replay of that, but it's about holding energy and about needing to step back and about needing to recharge. Matriarch Astrology, my senior foster Emmett has not come back to me. I wanted to know if he's passed. If so, well, of course, I went too fast there. And there we go. If so, will he come back in the lifetime I miss him? I don't feel him past. So, I don't feel that. And I just feel like, because I feel his energy very strong, like very strong, and it feels more of a physical energy for me. If he has passed, then his energy is definitely very high with being around you. I don't feel him past. I do feel though that, with the pair of you, I feel like there was so much love and learning, and I feel like I've got to lean into that a little bit. Emmett taught you so much, and you taught Emmett so much, and the unconditional part of that relationship and that love will always always be around you, in this lifetime or the next. I also feel like he can feel that heart space with you. I mean, animals, whether they're living or non-living, they can feel our heart space and our energy. So I, know that he's receiving that love, and know that I can't connect him past. So I can't. I just can't. I can't lean in there with him past. So I would just, where, past or not past, he's receiving that energy and that love still. I love that we want a camper too at some point. I love getting out of the city and just kind of getting out to the bush. I love it so much. The goddess of happiness. Hello, dear. I don't know if it's okay to say or not, but sometimes I see some shadows from the corner of my eyes, and they're peeking, and and they flee. What do you think they are? Are they real? So quite often, this is a very common statement. I hear this a lot. So quite often, the spirit dimensions will come to us, whether it be spirit guides or deceased loved ones. They'll come to us in a few different ways. Shadows and that feeling that something's behind us, or a real quick movement, is their way of saying, "Hey, I'm here." Because it's a shadow, it does not mean that it's dark. I don't feel that there's a darkness there at all. I feel that it's more of, we're here, we're trying to help you. Because one thing I need to ask you, Goddess of Happiness, is I feel like you've been asking for support or increased connection. And I feel like they're working hard to say, you're not alone and we're here to help you. Sometimes people will describe it, and I've had it more of this way as well, is quite often it will be a really fast movement or a flicker or a light, and it's in my peripheral. So, and that's exactly what you said, the corner of my eye, that spirit coming in a little bit closer and holding you. I'm really picking up on a lot of spirit guides there. I just feel like there's like this army of beautiful angelics just coming to you, say, hey, we're here. But I also feel like you have really opened up the invitation. So I feel like they've responded to an invitation. You can let me know, Goddess of Happiness, if that resonates there with you. I have an important exam coming up in 2 months. Before, I have been studying a lot lately. However, because of that, I have been really stressed out. Do my spirit guides have any messages? I just literally had that hamster brain wheel that I see in my awareness when we're overthinking. So and fair enough. This is a big moment for you with the exams. I have to lean into a little bit of that self talk. I've been working so hard, and this is where I want to go. I've been working so hard, and it's going to be enough. I feel like that stress. Part of that stress, acknowledging it is very very normal. I remember having extreme exam anxiety. Right, it's very very normal. Being able to work through it so that it doesn't take over. So a little bit of, and also being able to hit the pause button, like I've talked about many times. I'm going to take an hour, I'm going to take an afternoon, I'm going to take a day, whatever works for you in your studying schedule, to say, I am just going to go and breathe, and it is what it is. And I'm going to free fall and trust the universe that everything is working out for me here. I'm going to pass this exam. I feel very good with what you're studying. I also feel, you very, very ready. I don't feel like you haven't prepared. I don't feel like I need to kind of like say, I don't feel panicked with it at all. What I feel though is I feel like I've got to kind of work on this, just the mindset a little bit with, I've been preparing, I've been working hard. I know my stuff. I feel like I need to kind of just insert that a little bit while you continue to to prep, right? It is a lot. And acknowledging that is so important. This is a lot for me. I don't ever like to go into the denial space. I like to acknowledge the space that we're in. This is a lot for me, and I've been working hard. I just have to kind of, again, with the balance, how you're kind of looking at this and talking to yourself. I feel good with this. I feel like you've got it. There we go. And I every time I look at your YouTube handle here, I just light up with the energy of joy and excitement, and feel that a little bit. Feel the excitement for what's coming. You're feeling all the stress, but feel what's on the other side of that. Right? New beginnings, new directions. Just kind of lean into both. Miriam, morning, Lana. I've been really struggling with falling asleep for the past week. Are there any messages from Spirit about getting to bed and falling asleep easier? Let me just have a little sip of my tea there, darling, before I answer that. Um, Sleep disturbance has been, I think sleep disturbance energetically has been going on at a higher level for quite a while. Our awareness and our spidey senses and are growing and on higher alert. And with that, we have trouble with shutting that connection off. What I would like to for you to try is go to a light switch in your bedroom, and this it's going to sound funny when I describe it, but it does have a profound effect when you put it into practice a little bit. Turn the light on, and then literally put your hand over the switch and give yourself permission to disconnect from the physical world and to have a good sleep, and literally turn the light switch off, and do that a few times until you feel okay, I've got it. I also feel like before bed, I've got to give myself some time to do all my thinking. Like before because it's like that. Okay, it's time for bed. I'm in bed. Think, 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 think. Right. So that I feel like that's that. And even when we're sleeping, I feel like you're waking up with think, 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 and things are popping up while you're sleeping. Is what I'm picking up on. So I need to do either a journaling practice, or that a chance to give yourself just what I'm feeling, just what happened today. or the light switch, whatever resonates there with you. I also feel like, some hertz frequencies on a timer, so that it clicks off when you're just about out, or before you go to bed. I hope that that helps there for you. Joe Smith, I'm dealing with lots of financial stuff at the moment, which is causing very high anxiety. Am I doing the right thing? I feel like you're almost at the other side with this financial stuff. I feel like you are doing the right thing. I feel like I've got to keep pushing you and supporting you. I feel like I have to say, financial stuff is hard. It's brutal. I mean, it's a big part of our physical world. And I do feel like you're doing the right thing. I feel, Joe, that you're almost there. So I feel like there's just like something brewing that's just gonna help you through that and continue to ask for help. I also am a big manifester. I really work hard on my manifesting. So, asking for support, having a goal bowl, writing down your manifestations, visualizing it all working out for you. That has a powerful effect. I have played with that and I have tested that throughout the years. And as soon as I lean out of manifesting, as soon as I don't, continue my manifesting practice, bang, radio silence with work. So I am always, always manifesting and I'm always, always working on the gratitude, even when it's hard. But I do feel there, Joe, that I just feel you're right on the edge of things improving. Like you're right there. I'm sick, the cough, sneezing like wild animal, getting ready for for spring. Woohoo! Um, yeah, I mean it's cough and cold season, and then we'll send you some healing energy. I also think sometimes when we haven't, and it's more of an energy thing. When we haven't taken our time to rest, our body will give it to us whether we want it or not, right? So I enjoy. And I know it's hard to enjoy when you're not feeling well, but try and tap into that restful space, and just simply allowing that healing. A random Aaron, the random anxiety in my case was partly due to being so tired. Sometimes it causes misfires in my head. Easy Puff, my man has a business idea and is excited to move forward with this. Part of that is having bees. Oh, I love that. Do you see this working out for us? I'm also unemployed now and I have no idea where to work or what to do now. So Easy Puff, I don't know much about bee farming at all, but when I read it and I paused there, I just felt what a wonderful idea. I also felt I just want to go back and read it because I felt that there was something else. Is there something else with his business idea that he's adding into the bees? I feel like there's something else there. I don't feel like it's just the bee. I feel like there's like a part two. So I just kind of remember that I said it there if it's not coming to you right at the moment. I'm also understanding now I have no idea where to work. So let me lean into that or what I want to do. I feel like I've got a test taste. I feel like you can take a temporary job or a job just for now. And I feel like I needed to say, this is what I'm going to do for now until I figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. And I'm also going to add to that because I had this conversation with somebody this week. She was messaging me. I really don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. And I said to her, I'm not quite sure what I want to be when I grow up either. But right now I'm doing this. Right now I'm doing this, and I've always kind of done that with every kind of job or occupation that I've had. I don't need to know this is my permanent space. I'm just trusting that I'm here for now. If anything changes, I don't want to hold back any opportunities for me. So right now I'm right here loving what I do. And I think though you're going to find some stepping stones, Easy Puff, where it's going to be okay, I'm going to try this job. Okay, it wasn't for me, that's okay. It doesn't have to be okay for a permanent space. It can just be I'm going to try this for now. In kind of looking at it like I'm sifting and sorting and figuring it out. I'm following the stepping stones, across the river to where I'm meant to go. I feel like your trust is quite profound. I feel like this is gonna be very easy for you. I feel like I just need to I'm just gonna apply to places and see where I land. If I like it, great. If I don't like it, great. It's another step forward, right? It also kind of helps with the whole surrendering piece with having we don't have all the answers all the time. We don't have it, right? We need to figure it out. And there have been many times, and I'm sure many of you will agree, if I wouldn't have taken a certain path, even the hard path, I wouldn't have landed where I am now, right? And you can kind of go, oh, that's why I had to do that and go there and do that and meet that person because it's all part of the path of leading. And I feel like you're doing very well with following that, even though it gets a little bit foggy sometimes, Easy Puff. I feel like you're doing really, really well. Uh, that emoji looks like it's dabbing to me. Lana, my dad seems like he is declining. My mom wants to ask what she needs to hear as we prepare for what's to come. And I feel okay. So when I tap in, I'm going to tap into mom here. I feel that mom has been preparing. Either consciously or unconsciously, and I feel and this is the really beautiful thing that I'm seeing. I also feel that there's been so much honor with with them, like with dad and with her and their relationship, and I feel like I need to do a little bit more of celebrating and honoring that before he passes. So I do feel like you got a little bit of time. Yes, I feel there's a decline, but I do feel like there's a little bit of time. Perhaps putting together some photos into like a video where they can sit and watch them together. I feel like I want to open up a little bit more of the conversation about the beautiful magical moments that we've had, and I feel like I just want to honor that. So either a little barbecue where everybody can bring their pictures, where everybody can kind of come and talk about the things. I just feel like I need to talk more, and you can do it. You don't have to take the examples that I've given. You can come up with whatever works or whatever feels right for her, but or for them. I just feel like I just need to just kind of have that blissful, good time of remembering and that good time of recollecting. I feel like I just need a little bit of that. I also feel that like I feel her very prepared, but but I also feel like I don't want to worry about the stuff that comes after somebody passes right now. I feel like I want to really enjoy what's happening right now. Everything else that's going to come, I feel like she's got good solid coping skills. Yes, it's going to be hard, but I feel like I've got like the strength and the people around me to hold that space at, as a decline comes. I also feel, and I already feel that Diane, that you've already kind of have some of this in place, or you've been looking at having some of it in place. Are the support systems in place for both of them? Like a plan for mom as far as meals or like healthcare providers coming in. Like or whatever it is that's needed. I feel like I just gotta say, I gotta lift that worry off. I just have to say, it's gonna be okay. But I really get pushed back into this whole little bit of celebrating. This I feel like they both need it. I hope that makes sense there, Diane. I'm currently purging our room a little more as I have the time being through to the season and and the change of the seasons. Fall is a good time to let go. The nature doesn't naturally. The trees are letting go. Some of the animals are preparing for a sleep and letting, like I feel I love fall and I do a lot of my purging in the fall. I think I do more purging in the fall than I do in the spring, both energetically and the physical stuff. I see shadows all the time, says Diane too, or I feel like someone is behind me. Love that. I love the awareness there with you guys. That is it's fantastic. Shy, these days I sometimes randomly see little flashes of light from the corner of my eyes, and I know by now it's the Fae folk flying around here. I just want to add to that. I also when I feel or sense, even if I don't know, I even if you're not sure, I always say what does that feel like? Oh, it feels like spirit guides. Oh, it feels like ancestors. Oh, it feels like fairies. I always thank them. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, you guys. It increases the connection there as well. Good morning, Lana. Happy Friday. Any messages from my spirit guides or ancestors? Asked Chanel. Okay. Um, I just heard like a crack of a bat against a ball with a ball, like in a home run. Janelle, have you been working on a particular project or working on something? Because man, I feel like you've got a hit out of the park coming up, and I feel like I've got to say, you've done really well with trusting and going forward with this situation. I just feel like it's knocked out and it feels very good. I also feel like I just have to say, just trust that now. Just trust the process. So whatever you've been working on, whatever's kind of muttering around in there, wow. And I also feel like I need to take just a few moments to acknowledge yourself. You have done the work, if that makes sense to you. Goddess of happiness, yes, exactly, but I don't know why I feel like they are dark. I'm a little scared. So, goddess of happiness, that is old programming. So, when you think about it, we're at many levels, and in many, many levels, we've been programmed to think anything of shadow or anything black, or just or anything is of the dark. It's programming. And let me ask you this: Are you open to connect and receive with anything that's not of love and light? And if the answer is no, it's not dark. That it's that simple, right? And it's funny that we're having this conversation, being that it's Friday the 13th. And it's I don't have superstitions. I don't have that, or any fear about the 13th or the number 13 or anything like that. It's all manifestations. If you plug into today or anything about, oh, something bad's going to happen, something bad's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen, right? So it's the same thing with with energy. They're not dark. If you feel the need that you want to protect yourself, do that. And it's also okay if I say this to people all the time. I've had people that say, I don't want to communicate with my angels. Like, you can ask them to step back. And that's the other thing too, right? I mean, but I feel, though, when I tap into you, goddess of happiness, you're here on my channel. So, so I don't feel like I'm the only spiritual person that you connect to. You are open. The fear is programming. The fear is created. I don't feel anything dark there at all. Fran, I have a light that flickers at my trailer when my friend and I talk about a particular subject. This is my guides. I feel like that light gets flickered by a few guides, and I also feel like a very special mom. Yes, the trailer has been smudged. I know it's in smudge, Fran. I When we do a smudge, anything of love and light does not leave. I just want to add that there too, because I know I taught you how to smudge, Fran. And with a smudging, the angels, the guides, the great energy that stays. I feel it's validation, and I don't feel it just from the spirit guides. I also feel it from your mom. Um, Overwhelmed and struggling with a few things, unsure how to advance and deal with each. Does Spirit have any advice? I'm overwhelmed and struggling. Okay, so Lindsay, thank you very much for reaching out there for some support here on the channel. I feel like I have to say, um, and I know one step at a time, and one step at a time can feel like that snail pace, and I feel like I just have to practice with the breathing, practice with taking your time with things. And I also feel like there's been some pressure on you. Are you being pressured? Like, I just feel like there's pressure. Again, like, I feel like I'm being pushed down and pressured. I feel like I've got to do some, just removing of that pressure. I'm going to remove the pressure. I also feel, I just want to tap into that again. I also feel like I've got to, instead of looking at it all in one, I feel like I need to separate myself from a few things. And I feel like I've got to take my time and give myself a chance to process. I also feel with what you're dealing with, I feel like some of it, not all of it, but some of it you can step back from for now. I feel like I've got to say, I've got to step back from that for now. This is what I have to deal with, if that makes sense there. Uh, all right. I'm gonna grab a few more, then you guys. I have to go to work soon. Okay, Dee Dee. Yesterday, I thought I saw my dog Sparky outside with me. I turned around and said Sparky, but he was inside. I know I saw a white dog. Ski think it was my first dog visiting me. Wow, Dee Dee, that's beautiful. And I always say to people, always trust what you feel. If that's the dog you felt that with you, absolutely. PJ, I feel like a swing would be a welcome addition. I love that. All right. Tabitha. Hi, Lana. I love fall too. Do you think my dad will go into short-term care home soon? I'm not sure how he'll take not going back to his home. He'll either be angry or won't care. Um, I don't feel him not caring. Okay, I don't feel that. I feel like he's processing, and I feel like he knows and I do feel like it's better option. I do it feels lighter to me going into short-term care. I also feel like I have to hold space to allow him to talk about this stage of his life, right? Sometimes we don't talk about, how we feel about it, and we hold it, and that's where the anger comes from. So I feel like I got to say, you know what, Dad, let's talk about the journey, and and how you got here, kind of thing, and process it. I don't feel like he's processed that, and and he may lean into being angry, but I feel like I've got to give him space to talk, and all you have to do is listen. I do, but I don't feel that he won't care. I feel like he's ready-ish, but I feel like he's holding on to feelings, if that makes sense. So I just need to give him an opportunity just to say, let's talk about how you're feeling. Let's talk about how you're feeling. And you know what? I'm sure there's a big part of him that's got some anger or disappointment. I mean, none of us want to grow old and go to a center, whether it's short term or long term. I mean, it's not something that we are excited for. So I think that we need to just give him some space to talk, and all you have to do is listen. Okay. See where we need to go. I just feel like I'm failing at everything. I think there's real pressure, and some of it is me. Okay, there you go. So, Lindsay, let me ask you this. Okay, I'm going to ask you this. So, Lindsay, just close your eyes for a moment while I talk to you. It just kind of helps calm that energy. Lindsay, are you doing the best with where you're standing overall? Are you doing your best with where you're standing? Sometimes our best efforts don't always give us the results that we're hoping for or needing. I feel like when I feel into your own energy there. I'm going to type into you as well, but feel into your own energy there. I feel like you've got such integrity, and you're trying your best with where you're standing. The version of you currently and the version of you, that's behind you has always kind of done their best. You've done your best to work through things. Everything is always working out. And I feel lifting off some of that pressure. Be kind to Lindsay, be gentle to her. She truly is trying to do her best to move forward, to heal, to let go, and sometimes, Lindsay, we're not great at everything that we put our hands on. I bet you everybody here in the chat will say, that, yeah, I did not do that well. Right? It's about kind of looking at it with a different perspective, looking at yourself from a different perspective. Try that a little bit, and try taking a moment where you can be just for a moment a day. I did my best today. Man, it didn't go well, but it didn't go well, but I did my best today. I do that every single day too, Lindsay, because I need to really remind myself that I am always showing up. I'm always showing up the best version that I can. And sometimes it goes well, and sometimes it doesn't. Right? I also feel, Lindsay, that I have to add a little bit of humor to it. Just, I know it may not feel funny at the time, but I feel like I've got what you can laugh at. I really need to laugh, because sometimes, we have two choices. Or we can do both too, laugh or cry, right? So I feel like I've got to balance that a little bit with that didn't go well, and kind of, giving, I may have, landed on, like Bambi on ice with that situation, but I feel like I've got to lighten that a little bit. I hope that that helps you there, darling. Um, PJ, listening to Lana helps me focus. It's meditation for me, which is why I think the Faye in Bubbles Corner talked to me. Love that so much. Okay, you guys, I just kind of look at the clock there. I'm 3 minutes over. Let's do a couple angel numbers, and then we will go to the spirit animal book. I just got spirit just put me on pause. And I'm not going to apologize for it. Um, is somebody struggling? I just feel like I need to talk. You don't even have to put it in the chat, but is somebody struggling with being, I'm going to say, not accepted or pushed aside, and it feels very family orientated to me. I feel like it's like, I'm not including you, or we're not telling you, or there's been, like, something going on where you're not invited to. I feel like I've got to just literally wrap you in a ball of love and light and hold you. I feel, and it's coming back into how We have to step aside sometimes. Mine, not mine. I don't feel like you've done anything wrong. I don't feel like there's, any particular reason. I feel like it's all somebody else, right? Yes, I just feel that. It's like, and I'm not trying to to judge anybody here, but it's somebody else's jealousy, it's somebody else's issue. It's not yours. It's somebody else's perspective. There's the words that I'm looking for. Spirit literally just literally stopped me and wanted me to talk about that, so somewhere in this chat or somewhere in the replay, it's going to connect with somebody or more than one person. So just know that, yes, it's hard to sit back and it hurts, but I really feel like I've got to say it's not yours. They've got some unhealed stuff. They've got some growth that they're not ready to tap into. Just literally with love and light, step back. I, I literally, you guys saw me. I picked up the book and went to pull a page, and Spirit literally needed me to talk about that. All right. So anyway, much love, much love. Okay. Here we go. Lucia, thank you, Lana. I needed this. That's how I feel right now. Okay. Yeah. I've been dealing with that my entire life. I knew it needed to be said. For whatever reason, it needed to be said. I just, it was literally like I hit the spirit brick wall for a minute. It was like, no, talk about this. Okay. Brandon, yes, you can ask a question, darling. I'll try to get to it. Okay. 121. Now is the time for your unwavering faith and optimism, which always yields the highest positive, or sorry, highest possible outcome for you. 27. Congratulations. Your optimism is attracting wonderful situations and relationships. Stay positive as the attitude is working in your favor. I love that. All right, let's just pause for a moment. Just clear our mind and what do we need to know for the collective? And don't forget, you guys, thumbs up. Sorry, that was the instructions. I'm going to read this though anyway. Okay, I'm going to read this because then I'll pull an animal. So I landed here for a reason. Honoring your spirit. Sorry, honoring your animal spirit guides. Anything you do on behalf of our animal brothers and sisters will be looked on very kindly by the spirit world and especially by the spirit animals. Thanking them at each and every opportunity through prayer is a subtle and very powerful way of honoring them. Donating your time, energy, and or money to any reputable animal rights or environmental organization whose mission is in alignment with your own ethics and philosophy is an active way to give something back to the animals. You can also put bird seed in the forest, like anything that honors animals, right? I love that so much. If you're guided to forego using animal products in order to become a vegetarian or vegan, that is another way to say thank you. It's about honoring animals. Lovely. All right, let's go. Hyena. Every time I see a hyena or the hyena comes up, it brings me back to early childhood. My grandmother had National Geographic books in her basement, like hundreds of them. And I remember I was probably about maybe 5 or 6, and I remember being fascinated with this one page in the hyenas, and on the page was a pack of them, and they all were laughing like a laughing hyena. That memory has never left me. Anyway, you're pursuing a particular goal. Solicit the support of your friends and family. Make it a point to have some one on one time with each of your children. You're quite ready and capable to take on more than you're presently handling, even though you have doubts about how much you can manage. Be extra sensitive and attentive to the words you choose. That also means the word you choose for yourself and how you express them, as whatever you verbalize will be amplified considerably. Your powers or discernment and discriminations are very strong right now. So pay attention to your intuition and trust what you get no matter what. Always trust your intuition. It's a good time to do something silly that makes you laugh, right? Love it. Okay, so I'm going to go back up and find where Brad. All right, Brad, where are you, darling? Okay, there you are. Was it Brad or Brandon? Uh, I'm just looking for that question that I promised to answer. Sorry, I just don't see it in the chat. I'm gonna scroll up. Was it Brandon? Will my manifestations materialize in the near future? Brandon, I feel you have done very well working on your manifestations. I feel that with your manifestations, I'm really pushed to continue with working with them. Visualizing that, what your desires always for your highest good. I want to add that, right? For my highest good. And I also feel like your manifestations may not come exactly as you want them, but I feel like your desires in this manifestations, I do agree that they're coming. I need you to put down the timeline. I feel like I've got to say, just trust it, right? I feel like I've got to say, I am open and allowing. I have to work. There's just a bit for me there, Brandon, of a little bit of resistance. I need to work on putting down the resistance, right? Allowing always for my highest good. Always. So I hope that that helps you there, Brandon, and well done for you with work. I feel like, Brandon, that you've done a lot of work on yourself, that you've really worked hard to get where you're at, that you've really worked hard on your spiritual growth. And I know you know this, it's just the beginning of an incredible journey. But I really feel like I have to tune in, tap in a little bit deeper with the allowing and the trust. Oh, if it's for my highest good, great. If it's not for my highest good, great. I feel this working out for you. May not be exactly, but I feel like it's working out for you. Okay. I just want to see if that was the right. Oh, it was Brandon. Are we allowed to ask questions? And Brandon, I don't recognize your name here, so thank you very much for joining us here. This is a loving community. If it's your first time here, lots of support. I need to work on resistance. Absolutely right. So, Brandon, I'm gonna tell you a little. You probably already know this. I'm gonna chat with you a little bit. I'll share what I've learned with resistance. Okay. I am way over time. I'm just gonna trust. I'm just gonna trust that every green light is coming for me. Um, with resistance and allowing, the reason that that is, Brandon, is we want to control everything. We're afraid to make a mistake. We don't want to go down a path that's not for us, and we haven't been taught to just allow with everything, to surrender it. So with your manifestations, what's often helped me is I literally have, like, I do a lot of manifestation work. So one thing that I do if I'm struggling with resistance is I gift box it. So I will write down what it is. I may put items in there or pictures or clippings or whatever it is, and I go and I either make a beautiful box or buy a beautiful box. I do have a little wooden box that I use too. And what I do is I put all of my manifestations in the box, and I literally get rid of it. I give it to the universe. Now I'll either put it out in my backyard, I'll put it somewhere where I can just put it down. And when I see it, I look at it and I'll say, there's the manifestations that I've given to the universe. The universe is taking care of it. Done deal. It's done. It's a done deal. Whatever is for my highest good, the universe knows what's best. And with that, and I'm not going to consider timelines. I'm not going to worry about it. I literally give it. Now, if I find myself, Brandon, that I've picked it back up. So, for example, oh yeah, I've asked for that. It's not here yet. I go out to the box wherever I put it. I usually put it outside. I go back to the box, I pick it back up, and I do it again. I am offering this up for the universe. I do that over and over and over. It's a practice that I do most of the time, 99% of the time, because I've worked on the resistance, I've worked on the allowing, I've done a ton of practices with this. It's not very often anymore that I don't I have to go back out and take it back, or that I have to use the box. But even myself, it's like, I want it now, I want it now, I want it now sometimes, right? Why isn't this coming? Why isn't this coming? Why isn't this coming? I must not be doing it right. If that peeps in there, and sometimes it does, go try a practice. It doesn't have to be the box. It can be whatever resonates for you, but it's the fact of giving it over, right? You can do something as simple as letting go, go to your vehicle, let go of the steering wheel. The steering wheel is my manifestations. Letting go is giving it to the, don't do it, don't let go while driving, but you know what I mean, right? Like, try and find something that represents you letting go and giving it to the universe. The other thing, Brandon, and this is not necessarily pertaining to your manifestations, but one thing that I make very clear, and I've come to accept, that if it is not the right thing for me, so think about that. If I want it, but the universe has answers where it's not the right thing for you, Elena, that's truly not what you want, because we know what's coming if that's the path you take. I'm okay with that. I have gotten to a place of ultimate surrender where if it doesn't come, it wasn't for me because I've had enough gong show with pushing. It's true. I've had enough gong show. Have you ever thought you wanted something, you got it, and you're like, son of a gun. Yeah, maybe I didn't want this after all. Do you know what I mean by that? So I have literally done this when it comes to giving it to the universe. This feels so good. I'm working on it, and this is, I'm worthy of it. But if the universe is a hard no, Lana, it's going to take you down a gong show path. I'm a hard no. Thank you very much for letting me know. Right? It's so true. Anyway, Brandon, I hope that that helped you, and I hope that that helped many people there. I have to go, you guys. Right? I have to go. As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care. Take care of each other and enjoy the weekend.